Hi and welcome to me being a month late with my video. Cyberpunk came out, then there was work, Christmas, New Year's. I was busy, okay? Well, today's video will be a little bit different. I will be voiceover footage because let's be honest, you're as pretty as my face is, you're here for the geckos. So just a disclaimer, I have kept reptiles since 2016, or if you count a frog being a reptile. It was a white tree frog. I had just one, named Belpagor. Old Bell for short. In 2019 I finally got my first snake. It was a ball python named Coda. I still have him. And after that I acquired more snakes and expanded over to geckos. I have only had satanics for a month, so don't take this information in this video as the ultimate facts and care. This is only from my own research that I've done. And what I'm trying to say is that there's always more room for improvement in the care of your animals. After doing research for 3 years about these geckos, I finally felt like I was prepared and ready. But then suddenly a new book was published in October, after 20 years. There's always new information being gathered, new articles being written, and new books being published. So do your own research about the animal that you want to buy. And I'm just wanted to say that I'm no expert, I'm just someone who likes reptiles and it's my hobby. Well, let's jump into this. So I finally got my geckos. I started out with putting them in quarantine. When you have a collection of reptiles, it's good to put new animals that you buy in quarantine. Basically a sterile setup to monitor their poops and them eating. A side note is that the best will be to quarantine the new reptiles away from your collections. Sometimes reptiles can carry mites, parasites, or have some infections, fungi, bacteria, viruses that can spread to your other animals. I have heard of horror stories where people lost their whole collections because of this, so be careful. The problem that I had was that our apartment is very small. The bedroom only fit a bed and side tables, a bathroom is too hot, and the kitchen has always windows open, so there would be a lot of draft. The only space I have for my geckos is this shelf, and you have seen a lot of it. Well, worth to mention is that the breeder I got my geckos from is Bion Terrarium in Ukraine. They have good reviews and people seem to have really great experience with them, so I trust them with healthy animals. They also answered a lot of questions that I had and were very smooth to do business with. So the first thing what I did when I got home was to put them in quarantine bins. A simple setup with paper towels, a water bowl and ugly-ass plastic plants. My leaf boys were stuck in their small transport boxes for almost 4 to 5 days as they travel all the way across Europe. I feed each of them dubias and 3 out of 4 started to eating the same evening as we got home. Hellhound ate the second feeding without a problem. What I did was just to drop a few buggers into their bins and they would disappear overnight. I would also want to add that they poop like mad. When I quarantined them, I had to clean at least twice a week. The next feeding was 2 days later and all of them ate. I feed them 4 small dubias each other day. I also dust every other feeding with calcium that contains D3. D3 is a vitamin that the animals produce if they have access to UVB. I know that in crested geckos, if you have UVB, the calcium should be without D3. If you don't have UVB light, then the calcium should be with D3. I'm a little bit unsure if uroplatus work the same way, so I'll have to do more research about that. Fun fact, the calcium sacs in satanic leaf geckos are behind their jaws, around here somewhere. This is where they store extra calcium. Also when talking about food, I wasn't sure if I wanted to feed dubias, so I panicked and ran to get some red runners, or Turkestan cockroaches. So I ordered 200 fast boys, and believe it or not, I had no clue how small half a centimeter was. So I got this giant ass bucket that was up to half of my knees, and I was worried that they wouldn't fit in there. That was a foreshadowing because 205 boys had more than enough space in a normal sized plastic cup. I'm stupid and got sidetracked. Anyway, the geckos were in their plastic prison for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. Then I decided to finally move them over to their permanent tanks. So exciting! Also, my biotanks are doing absolutely great. I was worried that they maybe had some plants that would die off or not root properly, but they're all doing really great. I can't say the same for peperomonias. I can't keep a plant in a pot alive, but delicate geckos from Madagascar, hell yeah! Oh yeah, so my tanks are now, what, almost 2 months? And the ecosystem inside is doing really great. Chef's kiss! The isopods live on and are too big for the geckos to eat. Then you have the Benjamin that also have all produce dead leaves now falling onto the ground, so you don't have to add new leaves for the springtails. So when I rehoused my leaf boys into their biotanks, the first problem I encountered was the feeding. Do I just let the food in and expect them to accidentally find it and hunt it down? The red runners are super fast. I can't even catch them with my feeding tongs. Or I'm just too slow, I don't know. And the dubia roaches like to just bury in the substrate and disappear forever. So how was I going to feed them? Or how will I know they're eating? What I did was just get small glass balls and put the bugs in them to see if they would catch on and know what to do themselves. On the first try, none of them ate, but I didn't expect it either. They were rehoused the day before and I assumed it would take them a few days to get used to the biotanks. On the second feeding, everyone ate. Maybe not everything because some of the bugs were left, or some of them actually had run away from the bowl. You could see them sitting dusted in calcium on the twigs around the bowls. But my geckos learned pretty quickly that these bowls equal food. I usually put them under the Benjamin trees, as this is where they mostly hang out in. They also like to hunt from above and drop down on their prey. It's really funny because sometimes in the morning when I get home from work, they just sit in the bowls and expect the food to appear or something. Also in the future, when breeding, females need some extra vitamins, minerals, or I don't know, calcium, maybe? And it's recommended to feed them snails. I'm really curious how I will do that because you can't really put a snail in the bowl and expect it to stay there. I also tried to feed it with the tongs a few times, but as you can see, when they see you hovering above them, they will stop and freeze and just stare at you. Probably assuming you are danger, or maybe trying to see if you are danger. They look a bit uncomfortable when I'm trying to film and eat. Well, yes. But it's not surprising. These little dudes do not like to be disturbed. I mean, who does? The second problem I encountered when putting them into the biotanks is that it takes forever to find them there. I'm not sure if I made a good job with the furnishing the tanks or if they just masters at hiding. So these little geckos are one of the few that are alright to keep in pairs or in groups. They are not usually aggressive towards each other. But from what I read, males can sometimes fight other males. So when housing them together, keep an eye out for bullying. My geckos are housed separately and everyone has their own enclosure. I originally wanted to house the females together, but I didn't expect one of them to be twice as big as the other one. Harvest is big and that's really interesting because she's actually hatched 2 months later than everyone in my group. 3 out of them are hatched in July and Harvest is hatched in September. So my worry was that she would just hog all the food from the other female. So for now I will be housing them separately. I have plans to put them together once they are about the same size though. So the daily tasks of these dudes are misting them in the evening, and every other day I change the water and put in some bugs. And that's it. That's all they need from my end. Their biotanks are doing an incredible job in keeping out the humidity. And this is what these geckos need. They need 70 to 80% during the day and about 90 to 100% humidity in the evening when they wake up. They have really thin skin and are very easily dehydrated, and that can pretty much kill them very quickly. Other geckos are alright with not being misted for a day or two, but not these guys. I'm actually thinking of getting a misted system and looked for one. I'll probably get one when I saved out some money cash. As for the lights, I have those pink ones for the plants and the normal white light to blend it out and not hurt the gecko's eyes. If you have seen my previous videos, you are probably sick and tired of me talking about them. The lights are on for 10 hours from 9 to 7 in the evening. And I have this little dope Bluetooth plug that I can control with my tablet. You can see how much energy it burns and you can decide and schedule times of the lights. Not sponsored, but definitely a favorite. I'm thinking of getting another one for my snakes actually. So over to the temps. Our room is about 23 degrees now when it's winter. In the summer it's about 25 to 26 degrees and it gets hotter when we don't have the AC on. The ideal for them would be 20 to 25 during the day and a night drop down to 18 to 20 degrees. Just a warning as they do not do great in higher temperatures. Temperature. In higher temps. These geckos are not the type of geckos that like to be handled. They are very delicate and just don't like to when you touch them. It's fine if you just check up on them. When they were in their quarantine bins, I had to take them out to clean. They didn't seem too happy about it at all, but I gave them some dubia for the inconvenience, and I think I got some brownie points for them for that. Just a personal thought. I wonder if animals that do camouflage are more uncomfortable when they know you see them, or like if they are more stressed about it. And I think that will be it for today's video. This one was a little bit different from what I did in my previous videos, but I think this is better to do a voiceover rather than show footage and then talk again. I'm also much more comfortable recording it like this, and I feel like I get much more said than what I do when I'm in front of a camera. I stress about it a lot. I definitely do not have a long list of paper or notes here. Okay, stay safe and goodbye.